Yo, what is up? It's JJ, and I do want to give an update on Copywriter. Copywriter is the tool that I've been developing with my co-founder. I basically, wanted a clear, distraction-free space to be writing my copy. And so this thing is built as the ability to write your copy across multiple platforms with zero distractions. And the reason why it's across multiple platforms is because I've been working with brands as basically their brand and content like manager and strategist. And so I'm usually telling clients to say, hey, we're going to be working on your long form copy. So that's basically fitting for your blog. And then we're going to go ahead and truncate that. So you start with the long form, and then that becomes your script, your video script. That can also become, your Instagram description for posts, for Reels, for TikTok, and it kind of just gets smaller and smaller. Ultimately, for example, for like Twitter, it being 280 characters. So how do you take that long form of copy and then make it much shorter? And so with Copywriter, that was basically what I wanted to go for. So for me, for it to be with zero distractions is because there's no text formatting, there's no images uploading, and there's no AI. But regarding AI, I'll be showing you as far as a current development with it right now. So for Copywriter though, it is just for just you and your copy, and you can sign up for free beta access on copywriter.com. So let me go ahead and show you as far as how Copywriter is being used and some additional developments with Copywriter. So for here, once you log on to Copywriter, you're going to be presented, at least for now, you're probably going to have nothing on it. So you can click new, and you're going to be greeted with this. So the way that I write my content is I start off with titles, right? So for example, I'll write here, the greatest pitch I heard, or this pitch you need to read, read this sales pitch. And maybe the greatest pitch I heard it's a little bit vague. So the greatest sales pitch. So this is, okay. So right away, if you see here though, in terms of the overall UI, it's very simple. So if you click your name, you have settings, you have help, you can log out, copy, which goes back into the home page. Just the logo, you click next. And the method that I have for writing is if I click next, then I can go ahead and select the most winning title. So for example, the greatest pitch I heard, you need to read this sales pitch. And for me, I just like, this is the greatest sales pitch. Clicking next will then allow you to start writing your copy. I went ahead and copy and pasted from a previous post regarding this, and it's actually from the movie Air, which is about the pitch to Michael Jordan on the Nike shoe deal. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that right now. I'm using Grammarly, so this is something that I would probably recommend others to include. But if you didn't want to be distracted again from typos and whatnot, because I can always come in later, you just want to be able to free flow and write, you can go ahead and disable that on Grammarly. So I'm actually going to do that right now. I'm going to go ahead and just quit for now. So that way I don't really see that, okay? But if you notice here though, there's back, there's next, because in next I can actually create additional copy. So Instagram, Reel, Twitter, Facebook, and so forth. And what I'm going to do here is just kind of show you as well the reason why that I love Copywriter, because I'm biased, but I can go ahead and press start and I can read it. Because again, I write my content in order for me to say it on a video, for example, for Instagram Reels. And so for Instagram, you can have a video up to 90 seconds. And so when I do practice, before I was using my phone and I would press the stop, using the timer app, and then I would just time myself. But now while writing, I can go ahead and press start and I can read, and there's a timer here. So selling a product or service can be sold certainly through its features, but tapping into a buyer's emotions and aspirations is a very powerful sales technique. And I'm going to go ahead and, while reading, I'm just looking over at the timer. It's like, oh, this thing's a little bit too long. Let me go ahead and shorten it so I can go ahead and do that. But I did want to go ahead and detail, for example, how to use AI now that's built into Copywriter. Again, it's not fully integrated. So a lot of apps right now have started to integrate, ChatGPT and AI. And it all depends, of course, on where you stand. There's definitely a philosophical and ethical issues or at least opinions with it, because if you are a writer, that is your job. You should be writing. Others are like, well, I'm using ChatGPT or using AI to help, just to give me a little boost, just to give me a little kick in order to create my copy or create, content. And so, for it to be right or wrong, that really is the eye of the beholder. So for me, I just didn't want Copywriter to kind of fall back from not having something that many other tools include, but I just didn't want it to be over here where you click a button and then it goes from there, right? I think for me, at least for Copywriter, if I do get stuck, or for example, I'm going to be creating a Twitter thread with this, I am for sure capable of doing that my own, like just making sure that, hey, are each tweet, 280 characters, but this is where AI can really help, where it will use your copy and then it'll, decide to shorten it as it sees fit. So let's go ahead and create a Twitter thread. So in the menu right here, if I press next, I'm presented with this. And these, options you can turn on and off depending on which platforms you use. And you can go under settings in order to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and create a Twitter thread. And you can see here that it starts with 280 characters and you have the plus count. So the bottom right hand corner here, there's this icon with a C for Copywriter. And so this basically is the chatbot. This is where AI can be implemented. I want to go ahead and show you as far as how it can be used. And I have it as a setting where it will pop up this message after 25 seconds because it probably, I at least assume like, hey, if you're on the website and you haven't written anything for about 25 seconds, you're probably stuck. And so this is where you can kind of use AI. And I have pre-canned messages here. So for example, write me 6 titles on selling as a photographer. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to show you real quick. So write me 6 titles and boom, certainly here are 6 titles for selling as a photographer. Again, this is more of a boost. Like I wouldn't necessarily copy and paste it because you still want to implement your character and personality. This is where I do feel like, using ChatGPT can get lost, is because you're just publishing content that's literally not yours. So make it your own and use ChatGPT responsibly in order to kind of just help you kickstart your words and your writing. But I'm going to use ChatGPT, the chat tool, to create a series of tweets here. So I'm still experimenting with this. So let's see if it kind of works out here. I'm going to put here, shorten the following to create Twitter thread. To create a Twitter thread. I don't think that matters. But again, it's supposed to be conversational, right? It's like you're telling it to do something. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So that's not really a Twitter thread. So let me go ahead and create a Twitter thread, a series of tweets for a Twitter thread of the following. Like I want like a series of it, right? So let's see if that works. Oh, here we go. So that works. So again, the prompts are very important for ChatGPT. So this is something that I probably will create a guide on how to use it effectively. So now that I have this, right, I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste. Oops, let's see here. Copying, paste, make a new thread right there. I probably don't need these hashtags because, it's a thread. They're supposed to be continuing. But again, it's doing the work where it's making sure that the tweets are less than 280 characters, right? That's really the whole point. So I'm just going to not include the hashtags. And the last part here. All right, so now I have a series of threads, and now of course I need to still edit it to make sure that it makes sense, right? So selling a product service based on its features alone is effective, but tapping into a buyer's emotions is a game changer. And so I should probably add now, right? Like this is basically the hook. Why should people continue to read the tweet? Here here's a breakdown of one of my favorite pitch scenes of all time, which is in the movie Air, starring Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. I'm going to insert the thread here, or maybe like there. So now I'm literally 279 characters. Maybe like that. I don't know. So, and now I can go ahead and continue. So the cool thing about Copywriter is, of course, that you want to be able to reference your original copy. So this is where that moving that sidebar can definitely help. So as you're writing, you can kind of reference what you wrote. It's definitely excluded some parts here, like the actual description of the scene. So I probably would include that on here. And as a reminder, Copywriter isn't a publisher, so you still have to copy and paste this to whatever tool that you're using to publish, whether that's twitter.com directly for you to create the tweets, or using, I think it's like Threadfully, I forget. So again, you kind of still have to do the work in copying all of this and then formatting it. But the main goal is to kind of get the bare bones of it, right? So for example, I'm going to go ahead and copy this again, because maybe I want this for LinkedIn. And I'm going to do the same thing here. You could copy and paste it, or, if you want to see what, Copywriter AI does, then we can go ahead and do that. So write a LinkedIn post with the following. Let's see if that works out. Here we go. So got some emojis. Again, if you're emoji type, perfect. And if not, you don't have to use it. This is where you still have to, create, edit the copy. All right, I'm gonna just close this out now. So selling a product, again, right? It's pretty still similar. Do the work and proofread it and whatnot. But this is something that you can definitely use when it comes to creating your copy. So when you are done, you'll get this view here where you'll have your title, you have your copy, you'll have your series of tweets here, where you can just copy this, right, and put it into your publisher. And so here's a LinkedIn version. And as I mentioned under settings, you can enable all this stuff. And the reason why that I like this is because every platform will have their character count. And for whatever reason, if you didn't want to see character count, you can hide that. So let me go ahead and show you real quick that if I created an Instagram reel, you see how it has 2,500 characters. So LinkedIn will have 12,000 characters. So you can definitely write a whole lot on LinkedIn. So this is where it all matters as far as creating copy, is how long, if you're reading it out loud like a script, how long will this be? And then the other part, of course, is how much can I write given the limits of each platform. So if you haven't tried it out already, do sign up for a beta account. Again, it's free access as of right now, and just go to copywriter.com. Cheers.